Joss Whedon, after 2 entire years, has decided to officially respond to the accusations from Ray Fisher, Gal Gadot, and the Buffy the Vampire Slayer things. Now, I'm not really going to talk about that side, which is the more serious side. I'm going to talk more about the Ray Fisher side, the Gal Gadot side, because, it's the thing that people have been wanting to figure it out. And originally, I was going to read the entire article with you guys, but for some reason, my Streamlabs OBS won't let me screen record right now. It's loading, it's downloading, so I'm just going to go on, tell you guys my thoughts, and ask you guys, hey, please read the article prior to watching this video. But I am going to rant for a bit. I am going to get pissed at Joss Whedon because I don't care anymore. But anyways, before I start off today's video, I do want to ask you guys to please smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bells. That way you can be notified future content here on the channel. My name is Isaac and I'm the host of your multiverse of movies. Join the membership program. It is only 99 cents a month and you can get a shout out at the end of every one of my videos. And make sure to stay tuned until the end of the video so that way you guys can comment down below your thoughts on what I had to say. But anyways, Joss, let me give you a quick background. Most of you guys probably already know, but just to give you a quick background, Ray Fisher back in 2020 started dropping accusations that Joss Whedon, Jeff Johns, and a lot of people in the Justice League behind the scenes were treating him poorly. That Joss Whedon specifically himself was treating everyone poorly in the cast. He was even claiming he was racist. And for a couple of years, Joss Whedon has not responded at all. In fact, I think only his team would respond, but that was about it. We didn't get any response from Joss Whedon. And looking at the response now, I don't know how a guy with all these allegations for 2 entire years responds in the stupidest, most pathetic way I've ever seen in my life. And look, yesterday I felt embarrassed because today Joss Whedon came out, and yesterday I put out a tweet saying I'm not going to talk about the I Stand With Ray Fisher stuff because this weekend that started getting bigger. James Gunn was talking to Ray Fisher. I don't know. There's stuff happening behind the scenes that I just came out and said, I made this video like 6 months ago, 7 months ago. I don't know how long, and I said that's going to be the only video I make until something factual or something big happens. And look, I've always said I hope Ray Fisher's right. I hope he is. I hope all the allegations are right. And I've always said I'm not going to talk about it on my channel until something factual or something that is proven or something that's worth talking about comes up. Because I'm not going to make videos on things I don't know about. Because the truth is, I wasn't there, you weren't there, and I'm just going to wait until the truth comes out. But because Joss Whedon responded, I think it's fair we discuss Joss Whedon's comments. And, I've said this before, I believed Ray Fisher. I believed him. I saw a lot of things he was saying. He was risking his career. The fact that Joss Whedon wasn't responding, a lot of things happening. Gal Gadot even coming out, that I got to a point where I believed, I believe Ray Fisher, but I'm not going to put the I Stand With Ray Fisher thing because I honestly don't know the background. I don't know the history. I wasn't there again. But here in Joss Whedon's comments, now, a lot of the comments were, if you've seen 2017 Justice League, and if you've seen Zack Snyder's Justice League, you'll know the day and day difference between I've always heard people say that they're the same exact movie. They're not. They're completely different films. They have the same plot. Superheroes coming together after the death of Superman to fight Steppenwolf and prevent him from combining the mother boxes. The plot's the same, but within the story, it's completely different. But Joss Whedon, he didn't respond very well with a lot of the allegations. And when he talked about Ray Fisher, so he said the entire Justice League cast was in trouble. And look, I'm going to give Joss Whedon the benefit of the doubt. He came in a tough position. He was told only 2 hours, brighten up the movie. He only had 3 or 4 months to refilm everything. He had to try getting everyone in. He had to try doing a movie he didn't even get to start off with. So I do give him the benefit of a doubt there. But that's where it ends. After that, the behaviors he said, the behavior he had behind the scenes, and hearing him finally respond, what I expected from his response is him saying, hey, look, the allegations are true. I did this, because a lot of professional people in Hollywood, that's how they respond. A lot of people will say, hey, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Instead, in this article, anytime an accusation gets brought up, he says he said that, or he said he did something, but he makes it seem as if it isn't a bad thing. And he said that he specifically had, trouble with Ray Fisher. And his excuse as to why he deleted so many scenes with Ray Fisher is he's not a good actor. And I've always said that when you're in a profession, I do think that, you got to be professional with other people in that profession. which is why I rarely talk about YouTubers, although this isn't a profession. But the reason why I don't even talk that much about other YouTubers is because I want to respect everyone's boundaries, and it's part of being professional. And especially when you're in Hollywood, a big, you got the privilege of working in Hollywood. You would expect somebody to Joss Whedon and be like, hey, look, I was only given a 2-hour... Like, the best way he could have responded is say, I only had a 2-hour runtime. Cyborg isn't that popular of a character as much as Superman, Batman is. I'm not even going to try. Instead of saying that, he decides to say one of the most idiotic comments, and he said, Ray Fisher is not a good actor. And he said it like that as if everyone was supposed to agree with it. It looked like he sounded like he was trying to say, but guys, Ray Fisher isn't a good actor, so you guys believe me, right? No. The best way he should have responded is just to say, hey, look, we just didn't have the time. We didn't think Ray Fisher... And he said that the story for Cyborg... Like, he did... I know a lot of people got mad at him for saying that Cyborg's story didn't make sense. I'm actually fine with that comment. I'm not fine with attacking Ray Fisher's professional. And even if he didn't like Ray Fisher's acting, he could have been like, hey, look, I'm not the biggest fan of Ray Fisher. I didn't cast him. But you know what? He's a good kid. And it's just the cutting, the behind the scenes stuff just wasn't all that good. That would have been the best way to respond. But instead, he says, Ray Fisher's a bad actor. And then he talks about Gal Gadot. This one really pissed me off. And he said, what happened with Gal Gadot is a miscommunication. She doesn't speak English very well. That to me is the most BS excuse ever. And the comment that they're talking about is Joss Whedon apparently behind the scenes said, I can end your career in Hollywood if I could, which is a statement a lot of Hollywood people say, but that doesn't make it any better. And the excuse of saying, well, Gal Gadot doesn't speak English that well. Well, then emphasize it for her. Tell her 100%. Try to communicate what you're saying the best way possible. Believe me, I've spoken to people who don't speak English, and trust me, I know how to communicate. I know how to communicate myself in a way where it doesn't offend them. And if you're saying something as stupid as, I could end your career in Hollywood, of course Gal's gonna be pissed. So making the comment of, she doesn't speak English, isn't her first language, yada yada yada. That to me is an excuse. So stupid. It's kind of like going to a restaurant and you don't tip, and you see the reason why you don't tip is because you ordered a Sprite with 3 cubes of ice and you only got 2 instead. It's like your excuse makes no goddamn sense. And the allegations for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he didn't even address those. Those are the more serious ones. And he didn't even fully address those. But the entire article is him just saying, it's like he's playing the blame game, but he isn't answering what he actually has allegations for. And the fact that it took him 2 years to make these comments is absolutely pathetic. And I've said this in the past. Hey, for all I know, maybe Ray Fisher's lying. Hey, for all I know, Joss Whedon's right. That was the possibility. I always said that. Even in the I Stand With Ray Fisher video I made months ago, I said there is a possibility Joss Whedon is innocent. But hearing his comments, hearing his narcissism, and hearing his ego seal through during such a serious accusation like this, which is possible assault, possible racism, and possible sexism, all that happens, and all you have to say is, well, the cast was difficult to work with. Or Ray Fisher's not a good actor. Or just ignore it and I don't know. Like, dude. What? Like, and look, this is a guy who I respected in the past. I love Avengers. I'm going to say that. I love that Avengers movie. And I think Joss Whedon was a major part as to why I like that movie. I like Firefly. I've seen a couple of episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think it's alright. But, I like Age of Ultron. But I don't care anymore. The way Whedon responded just makes me think he's more guilty than ever. It's crazy to think that out of all the comments ever said between Ray Fisher, Gal Gadot, all these other people who came out against Joss Whedon, it's crazy to think that the comments that most prove him guilty are his own. You would think somebody as professional as Joss Whedon would come out and say, hey, look, the allegations aren't true and all that. And his response is, Ray Fisher's not a good actor and Gal Gadot just doesn't her first language isn't English. That's the most idiotic statement. And I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. And I gave Joss Whedon the benefit of doubt, even in the I Stand with Ray Fisher video and all the videos I've made in the past about the situation. I gave him the benefit of a doubt. I said there was a chance he was innocent, but I'm sorry, hearing his comments makes him sound more guilty than ever. And especially waiting 2 years. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, but he's a professional. His team probably told him to not respond. His lawyers probably told him not to respond. And look, I've always said that in a private situation like this, you don't have to respond. But when something comes out publicly against you and you're hoping that people are on your side, then you're gonna have to respond. And waiting 2 years to make these stupid comments that don't prove anything besides that you're probably guilty just shows how much ignorance he has, how much of a narcissist he is. And I'm sorry, but he's a privileged dude. The guy after Avengers was seen as a god. Now it's falling down, and he's obviously not in that position anymore. Deservingly so, because I hate when people with power use their position against others and to their own benefit, and especially with something as serious as assault. That to me pisses me off, and especially because, look, I know Ray Fisher accused him of racism. I actually agree that he probably is racist. For all I know, Joss Whedon, you can tell in his movies, he does, like, in Age of Ultron and Justice League, he had the same scene of guy falls on girl's boobs, haha. And it's really sickening to me seeing all of this. It pissed me off when I read it this morning. I woke up in the morning, hoping to start off the day great, and all I see is this article of Joss Whedon being a complete moron. This was the worst way to respond. This was the worst way to respond, because if you're a true professional, you would have come out and said, hey, look, me and Ray Fisher just didn't get along that well, but hey, he's a talented kid, and I hope for the best. Or with Gal Gadot, you could have been like, hey, look, me and her had a miscommunication, we didn't see eye to eye, but hey, she's talented, and, that's just how business works. And the allegations, he probably could have at least tried to make himself seem innocent, but he didn't do that. Instead, he says, English isn't Gal's first language, and Ray is a bad actor. Like, how much of a moron do you have to be? And I'm not big into cancel culture, but I'm sorry, but Joss Whedon doesn't deserve a position in Hollywood anymore. I don't care if he made Avengers, even though I love that movie, and it's one of my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe films of all time. I love Avengers, but guess what? He screwed it up. What happened behind the scenes, he clearly doesn't seem like he regrets it. He doesn't seem like he doesn't seem to care. He used the power he had for bad. He had this privilege all around him, and he used it for bad. He could have used that for the good. He could have used it to make great films, because he's made great films, and I'm not going to deny that. But someone in that position, the great Stan Lee once said, with great power comes great responsibility. And clearly, Joss Whedon does not deserve that power. So he should not be handling all that responsibility. And, a lot of people are going to tell me, Isaac, Joss Whedon probably is innocent. This hasn't gone to a court or anything. It's not about that anymore. This is Joss Whedon's comments. In fact, I guarantee you, he planned all these things. I'm pretty sure he wrote down, he was like, what should I say? What am I going to say? His professional team probably told him. I'm sorry, but Whedon's response is the stupidest response I've ever seen from any Hollywood elite. I have never seen a more pathetic way to excuse yourself. I've never seen a more moronic statement than what Whedon said. And there was another comment which I forgot to mention. He also said that Zack Snyder put up Ray Fisher to this, and Zack Snyder told Ray Fisher that Joss Whedon's racist and all that. Look, one thing that I always respect about Zack Snyder is he never talked about Joss Whedon. He never talked about Joss Whedon, and he never talked about Jeff Johns. All he said was, I had a cut of a film that I want to release. That's all he's ever done. He posted images, he posted all that, but he never, and he could have. But Zack Snyder never came out and said Joss Whedon is a bad guy or Jeff Johns is a bad guy, because Zack Snyder's a professional. And yes, look, he has argued with critics. That part I do see as unprofessional from him. But at least he was professional enough to say, hey, look, I wasn't part of the after what happened when I left Justice League. I wasn't part of that, so don't put me there. All I want is my cut to come out publicly. That's all he did. Joss Whedon, on the other hand, starts making up allegations. He can't answer his own allegations, but he'll make other allegations. That's how it works for you. And I'm sorry, but if you should, instead of focusing on what Zack Snyder is doing, Joss Whedon, you should be focusing on how you respond to these allegations, especially when it's as serious as assault, and especially as serious as racist accusations. Maybe instead of talking about the Justice League stuffed fiasco that happened behind the scenes, maybe stop, prepare yourself better, and actually try figuring out how to get yourself to seem innocent. But clearly your comments prove you're not innocent. So that's probably why he made these stupid comments. Because he's not innocent. He's not. And look, I hope that Joss Whedon didn't do this. You never want to hope for assault. You never want to hope for that. But if I'm looking at all the details, if I'm looking at what he said, what Ray Fisher said, what Gal Gadot said, if I'm looking at all of that, what I'm seeing is a pattern of, yeah, Joss Whedon used his power for bad. And anyone who defends Joss Whedon right now, you're either a very anti-Snyder person or you're a Whedon simp. Like, there's no denying it. There's no denying it at that point. If you're defending Joss Whedon, then you either didn't read the article or you're just blinded by hate for Snyder or blinded by hate for Ray Fisher that you just don't care. And when it says and look, we shouldn't be talking about fandom. This is not a Snyder problem. This is a problem with Hollywood in general. We've seen people like Harvey Weinstein do things, James Franco use their power for bad. They use it for their own benefits, but they don't care about others because they realize, oh, I'm in this position, I can do bad things. And it's sad that that's what happened. It's sad that that's what happened, and the fact that more than one people came out against Joss Whedon, I have yet to see anybody actually defend Whedon. Like if Whedon was innocent, you'd probably see somebody like Affleck or I don't know, Momoa, or I don't know, somebody defend him. But nobody is. Which is why I seem to still believe that Whedon is guilty. Or at least one of his assistants come out and say that Whedon's innocent. And you would think that his response would have at least given you a hope that he is innocent. Because I hoped he was innocent. I hoped he was. Because again, you never want an assault allegation to be true. You never want it to be true. Because assault is terrible, obviously. And, it's crazy. I know I said this earlier, but it's crazy to me to think that Whedon's comments is what, to me, push over the edge that he is guilty. He's guilty. I read it and I was genuinely surprised by how stupid of a response it was. It took you 2 years to make up that response? I could have made a better response in 10 minutes. I probably could have. And again, we still weren't there. All of us fans, all of us people, we weren't there behind the scenes. We don't know if Whedon did really do all this. But just seeing his comments, you would think that the guy who's being put on trial would do his very best to make himself look innocent. Instead, he makes himself look like a narcissistic moron. But anyways, that's going to be it for my video. Sorry for my rant. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. I wish I could have read the article here, but instead I had to read it prior to filming this video. I didn't want to make this video. If anything comes out, I will talk about it. Ray Fisher to me is right, and I stand with Ray Fisher. And I'm somebody who just wants the truth. And when I see comments like this made by Whedon, holy crap, man, he's a complete moron. Holy crap, dude. But anyways, before I end off the video, I want to thank my associate producers who are my members, who are paying me 99 cents a month, both Rhea and Pedro Bonilla. Thank you guys for joining the membership program. If you want to join, it's right down there. It's a button that says join. It's right near where it says subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. But it's right there. And you can join. It's 99 cents a month. And you get a shout out at the end of every one of my videos. But that's going to be it for today's video. I do have an unboxing video for this hot toy of Captain America right here. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's going to be it for me. Hope to see you guys next time. Comment down below, by the way. Peace.